Jackie Pilossoph is a former TV news reporter and Chicago Tribune columnist, and she's founder of Divorced Girls Smiling, the company that connects people facing divorce with trusted, vetted divorce professionals. Divorced Girls Smiling is also a podcast, a website, a mobile app, and a well-known brand and community. Jackie's been a guest on the Find Me the Money podcast before, so we are happy to have her back with us. For those who may have not heard her episode or not familiar with Jackie and Divorced Girls Smiling, Jackie, welcome and tell us about personal divorce experience, please.
Hi, Tracy. Thanks so much for having me. So, I got divorced several years ago. I want to say now 17 years ago. And when I got divorced, there was nothing. The divorce industry was not what it is today. You called a divorce attorney and you went to litigation. And then if you could mediate your divorce, you did. There was no other resources. Divorce coaches didn't exist. Tracy, you certainly didn't exist yet as far as the divorce money guide. And there were just no sources of support. And I felt really alone and isolated. And I managed to get through it. I had 2 toddlers and everything has been wonderful. But when I look back, it could have been so much easier, less stressful, and I could have had a better divorce outcome had I had all the resources that people have now. So that's my story, and that's why I started Divorce Girls Smiling.
That's why we're talking today about finding the best resources during divorce, because there are more resources now, but they aren't necessarily always the best resources. You can Google, you can find professionals, but I think it's important for people to do their homework. And so let's talk a little bit about money in divorce, because that's kind of my jam. And I think that there are education resources needed surrounding money, of course. What have you found the women in your community are most often saying about their finances and their divorces?
They say, hands down, I hear it from every woman getting divorced, no matter how much or little money a person has, it doesn't even matter. I'm scared as hell. When it comes to divorce and money, people are so scared. And honestly, it's probably the number one reason people decide not to get divorced, even if they're unhappy, because they're scared about money. And I don't care if you're worth $50,000 or $5 million. It is scary because of all of the unknowns. You don't want to get ripped off. You don't want to not find your husband's money. Maybe years later, you found out he was hiding money. You are afraid that you're not going to be able to live. You've never budgeted. I remember at one point, I didn't even know how much money I was making or how much I was spending. I never took the time to sit down and do that because my ex-husband at the time was making a lot of money and I didn't have to worry. And by the way, to your listeners and viewers, I literally have been in several different financial brackets. So I can speak to all of them. I've been struggling for money. I've been kind of normal. I've been wealthy and everything in between. So, I really do understand. But one thing everybody has in common is they're all scared.
Yeah, it definitely is a shock to the system when you go through divorce. Like you said, no matter how much money you have or how little, there's always this fear, will I be able to make it? And so I think those money fears can be pretty overwhelming during the process for sure. I know you like to say surround yourself with good people. Divorce is a scary process and there's never a better time to surround yourself with good people. Jackie?
Okay, so the best example I can give, Tracy, is I used to work out at this place with this great trainer. He had this Saturday morning HIIT class where you go from station to station for 1 minute and you keep rotating. And he used to say, if you surround yourself with people who eat chocolate and crap all the time, you're going to start eating chocolate and crap and it's just not going to be a good outcome. If you surround yourself with people who are working out all the time, you're going to become that. So surround yourself with what you want to be. And I really think that relates to the divorce process because when you're getting divorced, you don't know anything. Before I got divorced, I had never even been to court for anything. I had never been in a legal battle. And I didn't know any of the terminology. So surrounding yourself with good people is going to give you a good outcome. Does that make sense? It's going to help you become educated and empowered and make the best decisions, and they're going to help you get the best outcome you possibly can.
So I think on the personal side, that can be, being around good, positive friends. It might be being involved in online divorce support groups where there is a lot of positivity happening, because I think you have to be careful there. The group can be negative sometimes. You want to be in a community where it is positive. But then it's also the professionals that you work with in your divorce, right? And I know that Jackie, you, as well as you're a fan of having a team of professionals involved in your divorce, right?
You mean having a team of professionals who are talking to each other about your case?
Well, and
Absolutely.
who are supporting you and working on your behalf. So I think that it's pretty common for people to hire a divorce attorney and think that's the end of the story. My attorney going to get me through and that's the end of it. But the truth is, you could really benefit from a divorce coach. You might need a financial planner on your side. That's the kind of team that I'm thinking about supporting someone through a divorce.
Absolutely. And a lot of people think, oh, that sounds expensive. If I hire a team, it's going to be really expensive. But you know what's expensive? Most people say, okay, my husband left me and oh my gosh, now I'm getting a divorce. I need an attorney. And that's true. But then they make a call to an attorney and then that's it. And they think the attorney's going to handle everything. I am not putting down divorce attorneys in any way because there are many wonderful divorce attorneys, but they are so much more effective when you have a team that is working with them. And the other thing is, it saves you money because you're not calling your attorney every 2 minutes asking a question and telling them stuff. And every minute you talk to your attorney, you're getting billed. So if you hire a divorce coach, for example, you pay a flat fee for a number of sessions, and that person becomes like your cheerleader that is helping you through your divorce. And by the way, when I say cheerleader, that might have been a bad word because they're really smart people, and so they're not just like, go, you can do this. I mean, they do that, but they're also helping you make good decisions. And so you're not spending all this money on your attorney and you're getting the expertise. A divorce attorney can't do what a divorce coach can, or a financial planner, or a mortgage lender, or a real estate professional. So if you have all these people, they are going to be working conjunctively and they're going to be talking about your case to each other if you let them and give them that authority. And you're going to get such a better outcome because everyone's on the same page. Everyone knows what's going on. There's no surprises. And you'll get such a better outcome, and you really won't spend as much as if you just hired an attorney and that's all you did.
Sure. On the money piece of it, I always say it's no sense to have your attorney going through your bank statements and trying to look at transactions and figure out what was going on. That's not the role of the attorney. Even if they are good with numbers, you're better off having someone else go through that for you. You're better off getting your own bank statements yourself and organizing yourself versus paying the attorney or his or her paralegal to do that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
I understand though that when you went through your divorce, you did not have a team. You really just handed over everything to your attorney. How did that work out for you?
Well, it was very different back then. It was 2008. And I did like my attorney. And I thought that he was a good attorney, but he could have been so much better had I had all these other things. And what happened was he just basically was like, I'll handle it. Don't worry. So I wasn't empowered. And my ex would get these orders, court orders, and things that I signed off on, but I didn't even really know what I was signing off on. And he went crazy and started fighting back. And I didn't even know what I was signing. And so it really made the divorce a lot more contentious. Gave us a horrible relationship after the divorce, and we ended up in post litigation twice. And so we never really resolved the issues. And that's why I tell people, if you divorce via mediation, you are setting the foundation that the two of you can work to solve problems. You're better co parents, you get along better. It's all more friendly. Not we're best friends and we're going to hang out together. That's not what mediation means. You could still have anger and resentment and be the kind of person who can't stand your ex and still have a good divorce if you mediate and learn those skills.
Okay, let's say that I want to put together a divorce team. Where am I gonna start? How am I gonna find them? To just run to Google and just start Googling and see who I can find? What do you recommend?
Tracy, I love the setup. This is a great
Yes.
setup. To everyone listening, Tracy is talking about Divorced Girl Smiling. So I started Divorced Girl Smiling 10 years ago. And in the past few years, it has become a place where people can go and search for divorce professionals to see if they're a good fit for them. So I have almost like an Angie's list of divorce where people can go instead of going to Google and feeling like you're not sure. Everyone on the Divorce Girl Smiling list, my trusted professionals, have been vetted by me and my advisory board. And they're also people I've done business with personally, people I know personally, people who I've done thorough Google searches on, looked at the reviews, and people who other people from the network have brought in. So it's a very trusted resource. And I went into this business and am doing all this because I want people to be able to find a team of people they feel comfortable with, they can trust, and who will give them a good divorce outcome.
There are a lot of sites out there that have directories of professionals for divorce services. And I think that Divorce Girl Smiling is different than all of them because I think with the others, a lot of them appear to me to be everyone can sign up for, right? Whereas you really take your time to get to know these professionals because it's almost like your little stamp of approval on them, right?
I would feel so guilty if I recommended someone and it turned out badly. Now, can I guarantee every experience is going to be blissful? No, but I'm doing everything I can. So I always say to myself, would I work with this person? And if the answer is no, I hate to turn them away, but I don't have a choice because I feel like I owe that to the Divorce Girl Smiling community who's putting their trust in me because I have a podcast every week where I'm telling people all of this advice and tips and what you should do, and they trust me. So it would be very unethical for me to recommend somebody in the Divorce Girl Smiling that I wouldn't do business with myself.
If someone is thinking about hiring one of these divorce professionals, what do you recommend they do? Is there a process that you think works for starting to do business with them?
I would say most of the professionals on my site and even most of the divorce attorneys offer free consultations now. Back, when I was getting divorced, you had to pay for the consultation. It was $350 for the hour. And then if you used the person, they would waive the fee, I think, or they would put it towards your down payment. What's it called when you give someone your retainer? But anyway, I would highly recommend having your own consultation with any of the divorce professionals on Divorce Girl Smiling that you see that think might be a good fit. Or I offer what's called the Divorce Girl Smiling free consultation. You can sign up. I have a Calendly link. You sign up. You can talk to me for 30 minutes. tell me your story, tell me what you need, or I uncover your needs based on what you're telling me. And then I can say, hey, I think so and so would be a good fit for you. And I recommend the professionals, and then I'll make an email introduction from that conversation.
I like that process. And then I like that you're recommending that people have a conversation with them, get to know their personality a little bit, figure out if that's a good fit for a professional for you. But what about friends and family? I know plenty of people have been through divorce and they will be happy to give you their opinion about what you should do in your divorce, right? Why not just listen to family and friends when they're giving divorce advice?
All right, I'm going to get to family friends in 1 second, but I want to tell everyone that Tracy and the Divorce Money Guide is one of Divorce Girl Smiling's trusted professionals. I can't believe I forgot to say it before. And Tracy, we've known each other for a few years. And since then, I have talked to people who have used the Divorce Money Guide and said, wow, so I do have testimonials from you. And so I just wanted to make sure people knew that. Okay, so on to family and friends. Your family and your friends love you, and you know that. But your family and friends are not divorce experts. Half of them, most of them, I know at least for me, had never gone through a divorce. So they would say things like, oh, don't date right now. You just need to be by yourself. And I'm thinking, well, I've been feeling lonely and alone for 2 years. So if I want to date, you're judging me now. And I felt like they really didn't understand exactly how I felt. They also might say things to you like, my cousin's best friend is the greatest divorce attorney. Now, if you hear that, have a conversation with your cousin's best friend who's the divorce attorney. You owe it to yourself, but don't just instantly hire the first divorce attorney you talk to because it's your cousin's best friend or whoever. And then also, like, just remember that they love and care about you, but they don't understand exactly what you're going through. And so if they say something that's hurtful, cut them some slack and realize they're just saying it because they love you.
Yeah, I know that friends and family have your best interest at heart and they think they're helping, but the truth is they're not experienced divorce professionals. And so they can't really provide you all the support and guidance that you need, which is why the resources at a site like Divorce Girls Smiling are so important. Now, I know you have a free ebook for people who are listening called Divorce from Day One to the Rest of Your Happy and Authentic Life. What's that about?
So I believe that the scariest part at the beginning of a divorce is that you don't know what to expect. So I put that ebook together so that people would have an idea. It's not guaranteed this is exactly how your divorce is going to go, but here's what could happen when your ex moves out. Here's how you might feel when see your someone in your community tells you that your ex is dating so and so who your kids are in school together. And all of these things have happened to me. And so the book is good for people who are just getting divorced at the beginning or even during a divorce or maybe even after, because it talks a lot about dating during and after divorce as well. So it's kind of a what to expect when you're expecting a divorce type of book. And I think it's comforting to people and it's empowering because it will at least prepare you, and that takes away a lot of stress.
We, of course, will put a link to that free book in the show notes, and we're also going to put a link to your free consultation. You do the free 30-minute consultation. Again, tell us what the goal is with that conversation with you.
Well, there's a few goals that I think happen, that I hope happen in the DGS free consult. One, you get to vent, you get to feel heard. You are talking to someone who went through a divorce, who experienced all of it. By the way, I want you to know that it's all confidential. Nothing is ever shared. And then by talking to you, will kind of uncover and say, you might not even realize what you need. Of course, you don't realize it. You're new to this. So I will make recommendations and say, I think you should check out the divorce money guide, because somebody might say to me in the consult, I do think my ex might be hiding money. Well, of course, I'm going to think of Tracy. Or, if someone is from a certain state, I always tell people, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a divorce coach. I have no credentials except I have a master's degree in journalism. So I'm a writer, I'm a broadcaster, makes sense. But I don't have the credentials, and that's why I want to connect you with people who do: divorce coaches, divorce lawyers, mediators, and a lot of other things that you need during and after divorce.
Jackie, what you're doing is so fabulous, and Divorced Girls Smiling is one of the sites out there for connecting people with divorce resources. Thank you so much for being here today.
Tracy, thanks for having me.